Kastuba Das here with the big announcement for Wisdom of the Sages listeners. This August will be Ashram month at the Super Soul Farm. Simple ashram living, rising early, morning kirtan, yoga and pranayama, healthy vegan and vegetarian meals, farm seva and being immersed in nature, and then gathering in the evenings for kirtan and readings. Plus, each week we'll have a lead presenter teaching a different facet of the philosophy and lifestyle of Bhakti Yoga. Week number 1 will be the exceptional Bhakti Lata teaching a course called The Beauty of Bhakti, bringing the culture of love and devotion into our lives. Week number 2 is my brother from another mother, Raghunath, teaching Falling in Love with Divinity, the Bhakti Yogi's method for opening the heart. And week number 3 is myself with a course called Following the Path, examining the history and teachings of Bhakti Yoga. You can come for 1, 2, or all 3 weeks, and the pricing is by donation. For more dates and information, go to wisdomofthesages.com/events. Peace.
Live from the EU, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Get them ready for the Italy Wisdom of the Sages retreat. How are you, Kastuba?
Doing good. Having a good time.
Yeah, we might have the EU lag today, so we're trying to work our best, work our magic. That was a very moving show yesterday, I felt.
It was.
The disappearance, the disappearance of the Vaishnava. It's glorious and sad. And it's sad for us, really, just because we're missing a devotee. But truthfully, the disappearance of anyone, he just brings all these very real, generally hidden emotion, even though we talk about death and temporality. And I mean, this is the Bhagavatam. We talk about it all the time. But all day yesterday was like a strong tapping on my shoulder. We're in Europe, and for an American to be in Europe is sort of like charming, because America is not so charming. Kastuba is charmed by the Sistine Chapel and charmed by just stone walls and stone buildings and stone streets. Everything's just charming here for an American. And the whole time I was getting this tapping on the shoulder, like, be charmed, but it's almost like, fill up your life before this happens to you now. It's just sort of like, it's like buy time before you die. That was sort of going through my mind. So I'm buying some time, trying to laugh a little before you die. And it was like, sort of like, it just makes one practicing bhakti very grave, which I think is an important quality to have in life anyway, a type of gravity. What do you think? How are you affected?
In a similar way. Certainly in a similar way. It hasn't fully sunk in yet. It kind of hit it a little hard yesterday morning when I first heard it, and I'll have to sit with it for a while. But I think it's a blend of emotions, right? It's a blend of feelings.
Yeah.
And part of the feelings are sadness that we won't have. It is, in one sense, it's a friend that's been lost. So that's no question there. Part of it is honestly, there's a sadness. Oh, he was young. He didn't live the whole life and everything. But honestly, I don't feel that blending into it too much. I feel like his life was complete. And but there's also, like you said, there's an overriding. Anyway, I don't want to. I was just in St. Peter's Basilica, so I was just, anyway. You bring it up, so I'll bring it up. But I was there's this very famous statue. I don't know. I probably mispronounced it, but I think I'm not sure if it means the pity or the piety, but it's the statue of Mary holding the corpse of Jesus.
Oh wow!
It's one of just the most exceptional works of art ever created by Michelangelo.
The pity.
The pity,
yes, says,
the pity, right? And you look in it, she's holding it, it's just glorious, sculpture. It's unbelievable.
Who did it?
And Michelangelo.
Okay.
And you look, she's sitting and she's holding Jesus's corpse across her lap, and you look into her face, and just her expression is just so sublime. You know, it's like sadness, but maybe underneath that sadness, there's like a spiritual foundation, a spiritual truth. In other words, the way that what I felt when I looked at it today was there are horrible things and sad things that happen in this world.
Mm.
But for those that have a deep spirituality, those things remain on the surface. And there's a kind of, like you're saying, you said, what was the word that you used? Gravity. There's a kind of
Gravity.
gravity. There's a kind of, I guess you could say there's a kind of sublime gravity that's, you know, where you can feel both sadness and spiritual connection in the same in the same moment, blended together.
I'm not sure if I said.
And
Oh, sorry.
yeah, and that there's something very sublime about that. So when you look at that sculpture, it's both sad but like glorious at the same time. And I think, you know, I was feeling something similar. Maybe it was because I was somewhat in that mood already, thinking of Gopal Chandra, but I think there's something similar in that. It's sad and it's glorious at the same time. It's sad, but it's also just further establishing our conviction and our connection, you know, to Krishna. So it's a subtle blend. It's a unique blend of emotions.
You know, a lot of people reached out to me yesterday. So I can't remember if I said this on the show, but I was thinking, at the very least, Krishna consciousness gives me some frame of reference how to deal with extreme loss. Like people who don't have that, it's just like something like death or tragedy or cancer or chronic disease or something. It's like, it's just how do you cope with the massive glue trap that humans get stuck in and that you come face to face with? It's like there's no right or wrong or up or down, and there's nothing can be left but bitterness and sadness and anger. And at least it gives me, if people, whatever people say about religion, it gives you some framework, especially in Bhakti, it gives you some framework to understand there's a benevolent hand that's lifting us higher. There is a better place. There is, the soul is eternal. We're not the body. Even the simple ABCs of we're not the body can help you cope with such an incredible loss. Otherwise, it would be truly devastating. At least I have some handrail to grip onto. That was my feeling yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, Raghunath. Good.
Anyway, that was yesterday. And today, what did you do today?
Today, as I mentioned, I went to St. Peter's Basilica this morning.
By yourself or with Gita?
I went by myself. She actually went the day before. I went today. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, overwhelming, stunning, you know, all these things. But again, you know, I kind of applied a little bit of that strategy that I spoke about yesterday, where you just have to find something and focus on it, you know, find, you know, narrow it down because it's so massive.
Did you get the headphones? Walk around with the headphones?
I think I'm going to go back and do that. Actually,
get the headphones.
Have a recorded thing.
Get the headphones.
I think I'm going to go back. But you know, one thing I focused on was this. There's a sculpture there. Maybe I'll share this on Instagram or something like that. I took a photo of, like, you just take, I mean, I don't know how many sculptures are in there. There's, you know, probably hundreds, but there's one that's near the altar. It's massive, and it's of Saint Veronica, who I didn't know anything about. But Saint Veronica, do you know who Saint Veronica is, Raghunath?
No, Veronica.
Mara?
No. What did they teach you in that private school, Mara? I'm calling Papa Tony. He wasted a bunch of money.
She's commonly featured in the Stations of the Cross. You know the Stations of the Cross?
Yeah, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Right?
No,
that's not the Stations of the Cross.
No, the Stations of the Cross are like, you know how when you go into a church, along both walls, they have
there's
the stages where Jesus was passing through. Different events happened as he was.
Did not know that. Did not know that.
Yeah, come on, you weren't taught this in catechism. How did they confirm you?
You know, I never got confirmed. I received penance.
You didn't?
I received
Okay.
penance. I know,
Okay.
people are shocked.
So in any case, Veronica was when Jesus was carrying his cross, and no one was sympathetic to him. Everyone was being cruel.
Yeah, they were
And
throwing things at him.
Yeah, Veronica came up and she offered her veil for him to like wipe his face because he was, he was full of sweat and blood and dirt, and so she was sympathetic, and
She got sainthood for that.
She got sainthood for that, which I think is really something. And well, what happened was that the
I
miracle
could have got sainthood.
What, no, Raghunath, it's not so simple. You see,
well, nowadays I think you need two miracles. Can you Google that? What does it take to become saint? You've
brought this up 10 times on the show.
You need two miracles, right?
And you have to be dead.
You have to be dead.
My point is this, Raghunath. You say, "Oh, that was easy," but was it easy?
I know. It's like at these times where everybody is like, "Yeah, throw rocks at him, kill him," and then to speak up against the crowd and say, "No, take my veil." I'd give you sainthood for that.
That's right. Right. Yeah. And what I thought was it's a massive sculpture. It's absolutely beautiful and graceful. It's like, it's got the wavy, robes on that are just like incredibly well composed. And she's got a beautiful expression on her face. And she's holding, the miracle was that her veil, when she got it back, it had a portrait of Jesus's face on it.
That's not the Shroud of Turin, is it?
No, that's Shroud of Turin is a different thing.
Something else. All right.
And so, but what touched me was you look at this sculpture, it's massive, it's beautiful, it's way up high. And you look how it's framed by all of the decoration and all of the ornamentation and so on. It's like glorious. You look up at it, it's like magnificent. And I was just thinking, this was one moment in time, right? One gesture that was beautiful. It was compassion, and in this holy context, and the effort and the creativity that goes into memorializing that one moment and holding it as sacred, like forever, which I think is a lot of what art is about, at least a lot of art, or the art that I appreciate about it. It's like finding something sacred and preserving it in a beautiful way and drawing attention to it so that people feel the sacredness of it and hopefully are transformed by feeling that sacredness. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. So anyway, my morning was spent there in the St. Peter's Basilica.
And just for clarification, Mara,
two miracles.
Yep, 2 miracles. One of them has to be after you're dead, I believe, and they have to be verified. There must be proof of a second posthumous miracle. If there is, the person can be canonized.
Okay.
We don't want any fake news miracles. It's gotta be bona fide miracles. I wonder if they would consider a miracle, like levitation. Is that a miracle? Or it has to be like,
could be considered a miracle.
I think it's saving life. Generally, it seems to be the examples given here are like somebody with a brain abscess who was close to death, and there was like no way they were going to make it. And then right as he was about to go into surgery, he was suddenly healed. And the wife had been praying to Mother Teresa. Another one is after a child took 7 times the lethal dose of Tylenol. The girl's family was said to have prayed to the spirit of Sister Teresa, and then she was suddenly cured.
So who gets that? Who gets the sainthood? Tylenol or Mother Teresa or the mother?
It's mother. Yeah, it's the girl, I guess. Okay.
Or the girl.
Enough of the sainthood thing.
Okay, we have important announcements today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
We have a Bhakti recovery group meeting at 1 p.m. today, Eastern time. Jamuna Jaya is doing her Fun Day Friday asana class for Patreon members at 5:30 today. Tomorrow's Q&A day. So if you have questions, email us at wisdomofthesages108@gmail.com. And then there'll be no show Sunday, Monday. And did you want to say anything about Ashram month?
Ashram month's happening. What are the dates for that, Mara?
I'm pulling them up.
It is on August. Well, anyway, the first one is Bhakti Lata. She's coming up to do the culture of Bhakti. It's going to be an incredible week. It's a donation-based program. Check out our website, wisdomofthesages.com. And then Kostuba and myself have joined forces. We're going to do the second week. In the middle of 2 weeks, we're going to have a day program of Krishna's appearance, and we're excited for that. It's Krishna Janmashtami, big celebration, and want you to come up for that, or come down depending on where you live. But go to wisdomofthesages.com and click on Ashram Month for more information. It's August 12th. It starts the first week, and the second week ends on the 26th.
Okay. I got an announcement too.
Yes, sir.
Regarding the Sage groups, there's been tons of interest in this. Almost 200 registrants so far.
Wow.
Maybe more than that by now, actually.
That's huge.
Yeah. Well, you know, and we want to accommodate everyone. So this is what I've been told to share. We got a wonderful team. You know, Aramar's come in, you know, and he's really helping because he knows how to like program. It's complicated because you got to get, you know, squeeze 200 people into 7-member groups.
Right.
And you were giving people to choose the first one you want to be in, if you can't make it into that, the second choice, the third choice, and then sometimes they're all, you know, full up. We got to try to find a space for them.
You got to bring an RMR to figure that out.
And then there's other mathematical complications to the problem, because if you were already in the group, you get first preference. If you tried to sign up last time but didn't get in, you get second preference. You know, so it's like a whole thing. But this is the point: is that there's been tons of interest, maybe over 200 registrants by now, and we're working to place everyone in a group. So be patient, and you'll hear before long about what group you're in.
Can people still register?
Yes, they can still register. And what we're going to try to do is bring in some new groups. So by Saturday night, we're hoping to post more group options up there. And we're also going to post which ones are full at that point. You know, some of them are booked already.
Exciting.
And also, we're going to keep the registration open until the 22nd of July. And then I think the first group start on the 25th, the week of the 25th. So if you're not in a group yet, if you've registered and haven't heard back from us, please be patient. We're going to get back to you soon, and we're going to find your group. If you haven't registered yet and would like to take part in this, now's the time. Don't wait. Get your name in there early, you know, because otherwise you'll be at the back of the list and it's filling up. So we're trying to take care of everyone, but we want you to have your first choices if possible. So register now, and you'll have up to the 22nd, but better do it sooner than later.
Okay, I've got a goody nugget for you now, Kostuba. Ready?
This is a Roman nugget.
Romanish. Michelangelo, is he Roman?
Okay, Roman. We went through this. Well, yeah, he's definitely did some time in Rome.
He's connected with. He did some time in Rome. How about that? Okay, Michelangelo. The greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, Raghunath.
Well, you know, part of me feels like I've always tried to set aims high. But I was thinking maybe I should pull back a little. Maybe I should just do less. What do you think? It's the opposite of what Michelangelo said.
I'm not thinking of it. When I hear that, I'm taking it a little bit on a more existential level here, and not on the practical day to day. But in other words, what is this life for? Right? What are we trying to achieve? What are we trying to achieve in life? Are we trying to, you know, and I think that plays into what we're going to get into in a moment. Sanat Kumar has been talking about, you know, there's Dharma, there's Artha, there's Kama, there's Moksha, right? But even if you're totally successful at Dharma and Artha, right? Even if you make tons of money, even if you enjoy, you know, Kama, even if you enjoy materially, even if you're totally successful, that you set the bar too low, even if you succeeded, right?
Yeah.
So right. So the greater danger for most people lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short. Let's set it high, right? What do I want to achieve? I want to achieve the goal of yoga, you know, by the end of this life. Let me set that bar high,
right?
And not set it too low. Even if I enjoy as a materialist, I've set the bar too low. I've wasted my potential.
Okay, and things like we have tragedy, death of a friend. Hearing the Srimad-Bhagavatam, going on pilgrimage, hearing kirtan. These are accelerators for our bhakti. There's certain things that can sort of touch our heart in a deep way, and we say, "What am I doing? It's time to raise the bar." What am I? Exactly. Especially death, I find in my own life that it's sort of like, come on, what more signs do you need, Raghu, to get serious about your life? What more of a sign do you need? All right.
Set the bar high, people. And how do we set it high, right? And yeah, what are we going to try to, one thing I'd like to share sometimes is from the Bhagavad-gita. When I'm talking about yoga, because, in our own Gaudiya lineage, we have our idea of like what the goal of it all is, Krishna prema and so on. But even speaking in more generic or less specific terms, just speaking in more purely generic yoga terms, what is it that we're trying to achieve in this life? And I like to go to the 6th chapter of the Gita, and where it talks about the type of samadhi or the type where the mind can go, right? Like the potential of the mind. And so this is text 20 through 23 of the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And this is where I think we should set the bar. Like I'm going to read something, it's going to sound lofty, it may sound like, oh, is this only for those yogis that are up in the mountains that can accomplish this? But I don't believe that that's true. And I believe I know people who are like this and who have achieved this in this lifetime. And I think this is kind of a good place to set the bar. You ready?
All right, tell me.
In the stage of perfection called samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from all material mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind, and to relish and rejoice in the self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, they think there's no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even amidst the greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material contact, right? Like, if I made money, if I enjoy it materially, yeah, and then something comes along and it shakes you up, right? But this is another state of existence. And you know who I often think of when I read those verses, Raghunath?
Not me, right?
You're the top of the list, guy. But I was thinking of someone else. I was thinking of Bhakti Tirtha Swami, in the story that Radhanath Swami tells, where he is, he's at the moment of death, right? Cancer. He was in his cancer-ridden, emaciated, amputated. Body. Yeah, he had a leg amputated.
Clarity of thought. You can hear these. You've heard those final lectures. How can they find those? Were you playing with YouTube? I think you can listen to those lectures he's giving on his deathbed. They're inspiring.
Yeah, but specifically with this verse, I think of the story. Excuse me. Where Radhanath Swami says they were chanting japa together, and like, I don't know if it was in the very final days, and he said that they're doing their japa meditation, meditating on the Maha Mantra individually on their beads, and then he said Bhakti Tirtha Swami turned to him, and the way that Radhanath Swami describes it, he says it wasn't just like ordinary tears coming down his face, but it was like water was like gushing out of his eyes, And he said he had a smile on his face that was like not an ordinary earthly smile, but it was just like this super glow, power, ecstasy smile. And he said, and now again, we have to picture his condition, right? Cancer-ridden, emaciated, amputated, in pain, in intense pain. And with tears pouring down from his eyes and with a huge smile, he says, Radhanath Swami, life just doesn't get any better than this. Right?
Famous quote.
Yeah. Where most people will be saying it just doesn't get any worse.
Right.
How could it get any worse than this? He was, and let's read this again, in that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. He's not thinking I am this body, right? He's the truth that I transcend this body. I transcend this world, right? And upon gaining this, they think there's no greater gain, right? Life just doesn't get any better than this. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of the greatest difficulty, right? This is yoga, right? Let's not set the bar so low in life, right? Let's set it high. Even if we don't make it in this life, we're aiming in the right direction. Yeah.
There will be a feeling of, what have I been doing with my life if I don't? Don't think you're off. right? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to take it easy in this lifetime. It's too much for me. That feeling, it's like the feeling of just not doing what you know you should do will never deeply satisfy you anyway. Why not try your hardest? Why not raise the bar? Find out and hang out with other people who are raising the bar. That's how I find the determination to change is I hang out with people who also want to change. And they just sort of like, you get sort of caught up in their current.
Yeah.
Upgrading my friends. That's why I got you.
That's why I got you, guy. Babe, I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
And so, but what was I going to say? You just threw me off. I had something I was going to say. But
it's all right. You want to dive into the...
Yeah, let's focus on one verse. And although time is a little short, we've been going on and on.
You know what?
I guess there's a lot.
We started a little late. It's big. Our
Maybe
friend
we'll go a
just
little
left.
late if we need to, because this is a great verse.
Sanat Kumar advised the king. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madirayat. Before reciting the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from the Srimad. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Milatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisance at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad-Bhagavatam.
Hey, by the way,
Canto 4.
what your volume? Where is it set, Raghunath? Is that 3 o'clock?
It's at 3 o'clock. They said you're low. They said
I
you're
know.
low.
So I'm almost.
Oh,
maxed,
you know what?
so.
I'm there. Yeah, I know. I
see.
3 o'clock. Okay. There I go.
Now you're 3. Okay.
I'm at 3.
Now we should hopefully be more even.
Sorry about that, people.
Rough day.
Sanat Kumar advised the king, therefore, my dear King Piete, try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within everyone's heart along with the individual soul. In each and every body, either moving or not moving, right? Like a tree. Mm-hmm. The individual souls are fully covered by the gross material body and the subtle body made up of the life, air, and intelligence.
Okay. So let's put this in context, right? This is text 37. And in the earlier text, we're hearing about Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, 4 principles. Namely, and this is like a Vedic kind of like construct that one should be dharmic in life, be dutiful, be kind, be generous, et cetera, et cetera. Through that, one will be blessed materially, right? So there's Dharma and there's Artha. We can call it economic development, but you could just say it's like you get you prosper, you prosper materially.
You work in this
go
world
back to
and
Spock,
you prosper.
right?
Yeah.
You live long, you prosper.
Yeah.
And from that, naturally, you enjoy, right? You enjoy life. You have sense gratification. You have a home, and again, like the Vedic conception of sense enjoyment was more, let's say it wasn't so like warped as our modern day. It was like you have a beautiful home, you have a beautiful family, you can enjoy sensually, you can enjoy the love of the family, you can enjoy good foods and so on. You enjoy this world, right? Mm. But then ultimately the idea is that if you're doing this thoughtfully, and if you're doing this with regulation, then you can ultimately let go of it all later in life and aim towards liberation through transcending this world, letting go of all the things of this world. And so what Sanat Kumar is saying is like people generally set the bar too low, right? And they get caught up all in Dharma and Artha, Kama. So text 36 said, we accept as blessings different states of higher life, distinguishing them from the lower states of life. But we should know but such distinctions exist only in relation to the interchange of the modes material nature. So even if I'm materially prosperous, in one sense, it's no different from being materially unprosperous. It's all it's all a life in the prison, right?
Right.
So he says, actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the supreme controller. Whatever we have, including our bodies, including our families, including our homes, including our wealth, it's all going to be destroyed. So the wiser person is aiming higher. Sanat Kumar therefore says in the verse we're reading today, try to understand something more meaningful, something more permanent, something that's eternal. What's that? That the supreme personality of Godhead is living within everyone's heart, along with the individual soul, and each and every body, either moving or non-moving. Focus your attention on that. Try to understand that. Allow that to transform your life. Allow that to transform your mind. The individual souls are fully covered by the gross material body and the subtle body made of the life, air, and the intelligence. So focus on this, understanding that God's in your own heart. Now, Prabhupada has a great commentary to this verse, Raghunath. Let's dig in.
Let's hit it. Okay. By the way, if I'm familiar, this is text 37. Purport. In this verse, it is specifically advised that instead of wasting time in the human form of life, endeavoring for economic development and sense gratification, one should try to cultivate spiritual values by understanding the supreme personality of Godhead, who is existing with the individual soul within everyone's heart. The individual soul and the supreme personality of Godhead in his Paramatma feature are both sitting within this body, which is covered by gross and subtle elements. To understand this is to attain actual spiritual culture.
Boom, right there. That's big. Let's, what is spiritual? I'm spiritual, not religious. So what does that mean?
Yeah, what does
well,
it mean
here
spiritual?
Prabhupada gives a good, you understand that within the material body, there are two spiritual beings, the self, as well as the Paramatma, God. Focusing on that, to understand this, to understand that, in all your dealings, in all your thoughts, that is to attain actual spiritual culture.
That's a paradigm shift. That's a game changer right there.
Game changer.
This stuff is so weighty. You should, it sounds crazy, but imagine, I'm sure the Pope is a very, very sincere man. Imagine if he heard this. I think he'd be like, you guys got a point, you Hare Krishnas. You got a really serious, you Bhakti lovers. You guys got a good point here. You explain it much better than we do. I think we explain this pretty damn well.
I think so too.
You ever feel like the whole world needs to know this stuff?
I do feel that, Raghunath.
They're just set in their ways. Give it a chance. Try it out, Mr.
And we
Pope.
just got this little podcast. Come on, people, give us a bigger platform.
Yeah, I would love to get on his podcast. He has his own radio show. The Pope will be interviewing Raghunath today.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I would love that.
Oh, Raghunath.
Hey, Raghunath, tell me about the Paramatma, huh? The super soul, huh?
Okay.
It's a
super soul.
It's super soul farm.
Of course, he's not Italian, but
what is he's Polish, right?
He's Argentinian. Raghunath, come on, man. It was Polish like when we were little kids,
okay? There was a Polish Pope for a while, wasn't there?
What there was like when we were little boys.
Wait till they die.
When we were little boys.
Is it every 4 years, or is it like the?
No, they wait till they die.
They wait till
it's
they
a life
die.
Thing.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a life. You're Pope for life.
Pope for life.
Where do people get it young? Like these young gurus in India.
Well, that's kind of like, they have those in Udupi, where they rotate, right? They have like 4 acharyas there, right? They're like the heads of this particular Vaishnava lineage, right? And they rotate each one every 2 years. They rotate. That's what it is. Every 2 years they rotate, and one kind of becomes the head for the 2 years. Right. And for that 2 years, he's the priest in the Krishna temple. He worships Udupi Krishna there.
Right.
And then they rotate and you come back. And I think there's 8 of them. So it means like every 16 years you come around again. Right.
Every tradition is slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah. But there, like the current, he passed away not long ago, I think. But it was the one, he was very close with Radha Swami. He was very Pajar Swami. And, but when and the way that it works is you're kind of the apprentice, like every one of those 8 has an apprentice. who's like young, and then when your patron or your the one that you, if you're one of those apprentices, when your acharya passes away, then you become the next one, and you slip into one of the 8. But Pedro Swami, his died when he was very young, so he came through 5 times. So that means 16 years said to pass, and he got in 5 times.
Wow.
That's like, I think that was the first time. Yeah. Anyway, squirrel.
It was a very interesting squirrel. There's a Madhvacharya squirrel. Udupi Krishna squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay. Continuing on with the purport.
Okay. There are 2 ways.
There are 2 ways of advancing in spiritual culture: by the method of the impersonalist philosophers and by bhakti, devotional service.
Okay, interesting, right? So 2 schools of Vedanta here, 2 schools of thought within Vedanta.
Now, the impersonalist comes to the conclusion that he and the Supreme Spirit are one, whereas the devotees, or the personalists, realize the absolute truth by understanding that because the absolute truth is the supreme predominator, and we living entities are predominated, right? We're predominated, sure. Our duty is to serve him.
Okay. And now let's just spend a second on that, right? Because even that sound, we talked the other day about how the Sanskrit prefix pada, like in paramatma or padam or padama,
above or supreme,
or predominator, right? Yeah, the predominator. Like, in other words, all the other living beings are dependent on the predominator, like the leaves of the plant are dependent on the root, bringing in the water and feeding it and so on.
Sure.
And that may be a trigger, that may be hard to swallow. Hold it. I don't want to be one of the predominated forever.
Like God's slavery. But no, it's like you're maintained, you're taken care of, you're loved.
Yeah, that's the point. It's love, right? It's like he's the predominant lover in a sense. Like he has the unlimited capacity to love fully all living beings. I can't do that if I wanted to. I could, love, it's limited how much I could care for and provide love for every living being. But it's saying the predominator can do that. And so you can connect with that love. It's the love predominator, right? The prominent lover. You there? You frozen? Am I frozen, or is Raghunath frozen? Someone write on the board, because you all look frozen to me. I think Raghunath's frozen. Yeah. Okay, you're back, Raghunath. You froze out a little on us, I think. And now I can't hear you. You're not muted, but I can't hear you. And you're frozen. Okay, people. I don't know if you can all hear me. If you can hear me, someone write on the chat board right now. If you can hear me, please. Yes, I'm seeing thumbs up. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going here, and hopefully Raghunath will rejoin us in a moment. So let's continue with this commentary. But anyway, my point was that very type of language, predominator and predominated, it can be a turnoff. But let's just try to understand it in the right context, right? It means that there's one being that has unlimited capacity to love and support, care for every living being. And so, okay, Raghunath's back, I think, somewhere. Let's see. He should be back soon. I'll keep reading. Okay, there you go. You're back. Ooh, welcome back.
A little hiatus.
Welcome back. All right, you want to pick it up, Raghu, where we left off?
We're in the purport.
Yeah, we did the absolute truth. It says that the impersonalists think I become God. I am one with God, absolutely. Whereas the devotees have this other understanding that there's the supreme predominator, and we the living entities are predominated. It is our duty to serve him.
Yeah, we're not slaves. We're like ducklings. Think of yourself as a duckling.
Oh, duckling. Okay, that's a nice little duckling.
And Krishna as the mother duck. And the mother duck always just cuddles and gives her nice down feathers and, contains you. She's not beating the child. We're being loved.
No. It's a predomination of love.
Yeah, we're predomination of love. The Vedic injunctions say, Tat tvamasi, you are the same, and soham, I am the same. The impersonalist conception of these mantras is that the Supreme Lord, or the Absolute Truth, and the living entity are one. But from the devotee's point of view, these mantras assert that both the Supreme Lord and ourselves are of the same quality.
Okay,
Tvam
let's get into
asi,
that.
right? This is a big one. This is,
Yeah.
truthfully to me, this Achincha
Yes.
Beta Beta Tattva, that's our Sanskrit goodie of the day, is we are simultaneously one with God. We are one with God, like a drop of the ocean from the sea. The drop of the ocean is tiny, but it's exactly like the ocean. This makes so much more sense because if in fact we are God, then why am I an illusion? That's the number one question. If I am God, why am I? How can God fall into illusion? That means illusion must be higher than God.
Yeah.
Now we are the same in sense, like you are a pure spirit soul. You are a leaf from the tree, and I am the leaf from the tree. But each leaf is a unique entity, right? An oak leaf and an oak leaf are two unique entities, but they are connected, not as one, but as one in connection with the roots. Love this.
They're one in one sense. And so here the point is being made is we're one in quality, right? Commonly the analogy of the sun and the sun rays is used. The sun is the source of the sun rays.
Right.
They're the same in quality. They both have light and heat, but one is the source and the other is dependent on the source. So it's like that. Now, tvam asi, which means like you are that, or you are the same. And soham means like I am that, right? Soham. These are Vedic injunctions that commonly the impersonalists will meditate on, and they see these injunctions as being incredibly significant and important. Like these hold the highest truths. It all goes here.
This is
whereas
the banner
we see them
they wave.
This is the banner they wave. Like, yeah, this is what it all leads up to. We say, no, you're misunderstanding. I sound like you've given these too much importance and you've misinterpreted them, right?
Check out our banner.
Well, what was our banner? Sri Chaitanya spoke. I think he said, was it? I'm trying to remember. It's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where he's speaking to Prakashananda Saraswati, and he's saying, no, you've given too much influence to Tattvamasi. And I think he drew the attention to, it may have been Harinama, Eva Kevalam, or maybe someone could help me with that, Bridge Bihari or something like that. I'm trying to remember what he refocused on. But in any case, it's saying here that we have a different understanding of these, that yes, we are, if we're to say I am God, then we mean it like this. It's meant like this, that I am of the same exact energy of God. Just as the rays of the sun can say, I am the sun. They are and they're not, Yeah. They're, in one sense, they're the sun, but they're an emanation from the sun. But they're not the source itself. Okay, Raghunath, you can stop reading the
chat board. It's you never talked to me about Bill de Blasio, the former mayor.
Okay, we can talk about that if you want to. We can entertain that.
I'd like to take a little squirrel here. The mayor.
Okay, we'll pick up here next time.
What's that?
We'll pick up next time. We'll pick up here in this commentary next time, okay? And let's talk about Bill de Blasio. Let's talk. For those who don't know, Bill de Blasio was the former mayor of New York City up until not very long ago. I mean, poor guy. Everybody was on his case, right? I think it's a crummy time to be a mayor. Everyone hates Bill de Blasio. It's like everyone's complaining. And maybe you don't live in the city, so you don't hear about it as much. But it's like I think we live in an age where it's like hard to, it's hard. So in any case, he's the ex-mayor, but he visited the Bhakti Center yesterday. And he gave a little talk. I saw the clip, like the Thursday night kirtan.
Bhakti, or did he do it to promote?
I'm not going to judge his heart.
I know, but I'm just saying sometimes the politicians will make the rounds to the different churches.
Commonly, the politicians will do that. But what he shared was this, and what he shared, I felt it was sincere. But what he was appreciating, and this goes to the very verse that we're reading, right? Like seeing the soul in every living being, rather than seeing the body, and when we say the body, we even mean the mind, right? The mentalities that people have adopted, to see beyond that and see the self, the true self in everyone. That's spiritual vision. Prabhupada, what did he call it here? He said that's real spiritual culture. Yeah, he said that's real. He said to understand this is to attain spiritual culture. So what Bill de Blasio said was, what I really appreciated is that here I feel everyone is welcome. Right, everyone. It doesn't matter, right? race or gender or nationality or even political affiliation, whatever. Everyone is welcome here. And he's saying that's hard to find nowadays. That's hard to find. And why does he feel it there? It's because that kirtan and that practice in our philosophy, it's based on the philosophy of seeing the soul within everyone, seeing the spiritual equality. We need to learn to see that in everyone. We need to learn to live that. And that's real spirituality. So he was appreciating that. So
thank you. Hey, and you told me that you were at the Vatican. Let's just get this on the show now. You were at the Vatican and you heard the devotees chanting?
No, that wasn't at the Vatican. That was in a park. I went to chant my rounds.
You went to chant.
I wasn't sitting. I was walking through a park and I heard ching, 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 ching. There's this park. Yeah, there's a beautiful park that's way at the top of this hill that overlooks all of Rome. It's an incredible view up there. And so I was just, chanting in the park, chanting my japa. And then I was kind of walking away. And then as I was walking through the park, I hear the ching, 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 ching.
That's always such a good feeling to hear that noise, that sound. Ching, 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 ching. I always like, oh, the devotees. The devotees.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Did you run up to them? Hey,
I did.
A devotee too.
I did. They kind of recognized it, I think, from my neck beads. So I sat down and did kirtan for about half an hour with them, and then they were kind. Devotees are always kind, and so they said, "Oh, he doesn't speak English. Let's try to get him a translator." And I said, "No, I have to go now. I just wanted to spend a little time with the Vaishnavas. Do you want some prasad? Here, take some prasad." It's like that. So it was sweet to see the devotees.
Shelter played at the Rome Temple in 1993. We were all brahmacharis, and they cooked us a big thing of pasta, and so all the fans came to the temple. How cool is that?
I'm looking forward. We're going to Villa Vrindavan in a few days, and how they cooked for us last year. These Italian ladies, and so they cook with love, right? Isn't it true? Italians understood something about love can be spread through food. It's not always, unfortunately, vegetarian, what to speak of prasadam, but there is some realization, there's a depth of realization in the culture about how love can be shared through food. And but these are pure devotees there at Villa Vrindavan cooking that, sharing that love. Yeah. We need a little more love in the world, Raghunath, don't we?
We need a little bit. Yeah, a little more love.
Nice.
The ding, ding, ding. The ding, ding. You know what? Want to hear something cool? I was coming back from India from a pilgrimage, and on the exact same evening, I got in at like at 2:00, and that evening I had to get on stage and play at Irving Plaza with Shelter for a reunion.
Hold it. And you got back to New York, you're saying? I remember you could have stayed at my place, I think, right? Yeah.
No.
I was impressed that you got off the flight.
I got off the plane. I had to play a show, and I was like sort of lost. Like I went from like sadhu life to now I got to be in rock and roll mode. And I went to Union Square, and the devotees were there. And I looked at them. I said, "Oh yeah, can I sing a song?" And they're like, "Yeah, Prabhu, sit down and sing." And I sang for like an hour, and then I just got on stage. And it was such a nice. That was Krishna sent that to me. It was a nice re-entry into New York. Okay, marriage. I'm thinking, and I'd like to take a vote here. We have these takeaways at the end. Maybe everybody on Zoom could put a little vote here. We call them takeaways. I'm thinking of change the name to the Goody Basket. The Goody Basket.
No, absolutely not. I veto it, and that's definitely not happening.
Goody Basket.
No, it's a takeaway. You take it away.
Put it on the. Let's keep it a democracy, Kostuba. You think you're the new Caesar?
No.
Two no's.
We're getting
no.
No.
Goody Basket. No.
Takeaway. Okay. Yeah, nobody likes it.
Goody bag.
No. My God, forget it. You're just trying to make us laugh.
Got my back.
No way. Lots of love, but no.
Takeaways. All right. Goody Basket. Okay. Dip into the Goody Basket and see what we got today for the takeaways. How about we keep the takeaways in a goodie basket?
We have Sanskrit goodies already, so just leave it there.
Okay.
Leave it there. Don't try to fix something that's not broken. Takeaways.
Takeaways.
I just think takeaways is a little boring.
Death is tapping us on the shoulder.
Death is tapping us on the shoulder. Oh. Yes.
There's a sublime gravity of sadness and spirituality. Blended.
Oh.
Sadness.
We can write some emo songs about that.
Yeah. Krishna consciousness provides coping mechanisms. for the glue traps and tragedies of material world?
Yes. How about we're the
Okay.
predominators from Scranton? That sounds like
Predominating,
it sounds like a punk band,
predominating
doesn't it?
lovers. Predominating lovers.
The predominator sounds like sort of like punk.
Metal. We're
We're
predominator.
predominated. We're not the
Predominate-
predominators.
Yeah.
How about we're the predominated?
Predominated. Sounds like the detonators or detonators.
All right.
Okay, go on.
Now Mary's
There's
got to
a
get a little
benev-
closer to that mic.
There's a
Bring the mic
benevolent
closer
hand.
there.
There's a benevolent hand lifting us up.
Okay.
Benevolent. Love that
A
word.
benevolent hand.
We're benevolent hands. I got a hand.
That's our symbol.
It's a logo.
Set the bar high.
Set the bar high, Raghunath.
Raise the bar.
Raise the bar. Hare Krishna is the PhD of religions.
It really is. Cindy Lunsford said that.
Yeah.
Yogeshwari. It's like the PhD, religions.
Hey, Pope, give it a chance.
Hey, Pope, give it a chance. You'd like it. If you know what? If you see, you said you're going to see the Pope. No,
You-
did no, 'cause Tuba said
Yeah, I am going to
yesterday.
see the Pope. I'm going on Sunday.
I thought you said you were going to see the Pope.
I did. I'm
Disney-
going to go see him on Sunday.
Okay, so maybe you can get a word in.
I'll try. There's going to be a lot of other people there. Remember the song Anti-Pope? You remember that one, Raghu?
No, I don't. I didn't listen. You don't understand.
Remember-
Even in my hardcore days, I was always very pro God. So anti-Pope, no, wouldn't like it. When the Dead Kennedys put that record with the Jesus and the cross and the dollar sign,
Didn't like that.
completely
No,
against
you
it.
didn't let your mother see that, right?
No way. My
No, the
mother
Damned had a
totally-
song called
and
Anti-Pope.
I wouldn't even listen to Slayer because of all the devil influence. I was very anti-devil.
Okay. Well, no, the Anti-Pope. Maybe I can pull up the lyrics to it, but it wasn't like rabid anti. It was, as a matter of fact, it's like I got nothing against the church. I'll see if I can find it. Go ahead, keep going, Mayor.
All right. Could Raghu have been a saint?
I gotta
Raghu
do
is
some
a saint.
miracles. I got.
It's just maybe he doesn't have miracles, but he's a saint in my book.
I've got a beard. How about that? Is that it's
I
awesome?
don't think that's a requirement. No, I don't think so.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh,
Is that it?
do they still?
I got
kiss
nothing against the
popes?
church. Only people who go there, I guess that's not so nice, and show they're plain ignorant and don't understand. A congregation at weekends won't change their behavior. You see? He was seeing
Wow, that's
hypocrisy.
Pretty insightful. What band? Was
So
that?
many people are weak enough to seek answers from the peddlers of hope. I should know. I had to go there myself. Not since the day I became anti-pope. That's the day I'm doing that. I don't think I'm within. I get where it's coming from, but I don't think it's fully evolved. That's
The
all.
peddlers of hope. There is hope. That's the interesting thing. We are peddlers of hope, and you know what? Why not? You want to be
We're
hopeless?
peddlers of hope.
Is that the? We're peddlers of hope. You know, the interesting thing is, who wants no hope? Give
Yeah.
me hope. Are you gonna play
Give
this
me
song,
hope.
Kostuba? I'm just hanging here.
Give me hope. What I thought I could have gone right into the George Harrison. Or
Give me
anything.
hope. Give me peace on
Give me
earth.
peace on earth. He's a peddler of
Give me
hope.
love, give me hope, give me free from birth, help me fly, help me cry. Oh, that's a great song too. George Harrison. What's going on?
I don't know. My connection is really bad. It's like it
Oh,
keeps
no.
dropping. There we go.
Everyone's gonna have to just sing. All the love in the world. Have a great day. The Pope smokes dope. What? Who said that?
Yeah, the post smoke stuff was another thing.
They still kiss the Pope's ring. thought there
I
was a
believe so.
mafia.
I'd imagine.
Is that the mafia that kisses ring?
No,
the
no, no.
Pope?
The Pope. I mean, kiss the ring became a thing because of the Pope.
Oh, okay. I get it. You
The
get
mafia, they kiss on the
did
cheek.
the Pope
They
get like a
kiss
special Pope ring, like a Super Bowl ring?
papal ring. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, maybe they. We
I
could look
wonder
into
if
that.
There's like a Pope. Oh, Henry says yes. There's a Pope ring.
Yeah. Yeah, they hand it down.
That would be worth something at Sotheby's, Henry.
All right.
I got a question for you. Mara looked it up. The ring of the fisherman, also known as the piscatory ring, is an official part of the regalia worn by the Pope. Chapu knew that. Chapu seems very
Chapu.
Catholic herself.
Chapu, I could see Chapu being a really good Catholic girl.
I could see her being a nun,
Yeah, she could be a nun.
a saint, perhaps. What
I could see her as a saint
miracles
as well.
could Chapu perform?
Saint Chapu.
When her flight's been canceled, perhaps?
Yes. Maybe levitation. Just levitates right into Mugalarti. I thought it was going to be a little flashier, that Pope ring. It just seems like a big.
Not happy with it?
Going here.
Let's see. I got to blow you
See,
up.
this is the thing about Hinduism. We have great jewels.
Well, they all got stolen by the British. That's why their empire went down.
That's why the British Empire went down for sure.
Yeah. Got the curse.
Yep.
Oh, is there a show tomorrow? People are like, yes, 8 o'clock, right? We'll do
Goes
Q&A.
Q&A day. That's actually a pretty nice ring. Let me take that ring.